Hi, Thomas from Field Tennis. Have you ever missed a sitter, a short ball that's just waiting to be smacked? You probably have. Now you may be thinking that you miss a lot of those shots because you're taking huge risks, because you're hitting very hard, and there is some truth in that. Obviously, if you're hitting the ball faster, you're taking higher risks. But there's another reason why you're missing a lot of short balls, and that's because your acceleration is very jerky. You accelerate suddenly. So if you learn to accelerate more smoothly, or what I like to use the word gradually, if you accelerate gradually, you will be much more consistent when attacking short balls. So why is sudden acceleration causing you to miss? I see three main reasons. The first one is that when you accelerate suddenly, you will obviously contract. So you pull the racket a little bit away from the ball, you'll miss hit slightly. The other one is that when you contract suddenly, you're going to change the racket angle a little bit. So you might miss because of that. You'll just hit in the net most often. And the third one is that you're breaking down your flow of the body, and that means that you're also breaking down the timing of your strokes. So many reasons why you're missing and why you shouldn't be accelerating very suddenly. So just to explain what I mean by accelerating suddenly, when you're preparing for a stroke, so I'll just demonstrate with the forehand, but it goes the same for the backhand. So when you prepare, you've done your turn or your backswing, however you want to call it, and you're about to go forward. You're going from this position just when the backswing is turning into a forward swing. So you're starting from this position immediately suddenly. And that's not going to work because your body has to contract to accelerate suddenly. Let's say from speed 0, your racket has speed 0 here, just came here, and now you want to accelerate. So if you want to go really fast, you will contract and will cause you all sorts of problems. So gradual acceleration means that as you come to this point, you're accelerating gradually, like vroom. So I like to make this sound to better demonstrate or explain what I mean. So it's not boom, but it's vroom. So I want to accelerate gradually. I want to build up the speed of my arm gradually. So no, 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 and vroom. Vroom. And if I go that way, I will not cause a sudden contraction in my arm or in my body. I can accelerate much more smoothly, and therefore I will have good racket head control and maintain good timing. I'll try and demonstrate the difference between a sudden acceleration and a gradual acceleration. So if I go with the sudden acceleration, then when my racket is here, I'll try when my racket is here, I go suddenly. So I'll go like this, and then suddenly I'll go like this, and at once. And then that's not good. I contract, I'm losing balance, and so on. So what I want to do is when my racket is here, I want to feel that it's gradually accelerating, and that just when I'm about to hit the ball, I have reached good racket head speed. More like this. So it's more vroom, vroom. So hope you can see the difference between sudden and gradual acceleration, and also how I can maintain my balance, how my body is not contracting, how my stroke is flowing, it's much more smooth, and therefore I'm much more consistent when I'm hitting these types of shots. So what are the reasons that you might be accelerating very suddenly in a very jerky manner? The first one is that you're thinking that you need to hit the ball hard. It's much better to think that you need to hit the ball fast. Your body will respond very differently to the idea of hitting hard compared to the idea of hitting fast. So think more hitting through the ball, or sweeping the ball, or throwing the racket, or accelerating the racket, but not hitting the ball hard. The second reason is that you may have considered accelerating more gradually, more smoothly, but you feel that you will not develop enough power. Now I assure you that in time you will develop enough power, but you have to work on it. So this feeling of that there is not enough power is deceiving you a little bit, because in your body you will not feel a lot of power, because accelerating smoothly does not take a lot of effort. It's just a different feeling. So I invite you to trust it, to try it, and see how it feels when you accelerate gradually and just build up the speed, and only maybe at the last second when you're approaching the ball you feel that you can really accelerate the racket head. So don't rely on your body to tell you if you're hitting a good shot. So don't rely on the effort, on the contraction that you feel, but you must rely only on the speed of the ball. So you have to see how fast is the ball. When you're hitting a short ball and you're doing it the right way with a gradual acceleration, it's really smooth. There is no effort, special effort felt. So don't rely on the body, as I said. Just see how fast your ball is, or see how little time your opponent has. So trust that and not your feel. As you work on gradual acceleration, you're going to face one challenge. Namely, when you accelerate gradually, it will take you longer to reach the contact point. That means that you will have to start your strokes earlier than what you're used to. So let me try and show. So first I will hit one ball with a sudden acceleration. So what I feel, for example, is that I'm waiting very long compared to my usual timing, how I would go. So I actually have to force myself to wait and wait and wait. So I'm waiting and waiting, waiting. And then I do sudden acceleration. So if I do gradual acceleration, my arm starts slower, which is taking up time. So when the ball is coming, I actually have to start earlier. So I have to start earlier in order to come to the contact point at the right time. So just keep that in mind as you're working on gradual acceleration of your strokes, that it takes more time and you have to start early. So it might feel strange at first, but I encourage you to keep trying to start as early as possible. And I don't mean just early preparation, I mean early initiation towards the ball. So as you're here, just start to go and see if you can make it to the contact point in time, because you will need to break your usual timing, your usual rhythm a little bit. And the best way to break an old habit is to exaggerate a little bit. So just start very slowly. Just be aware that you're starting earlier than usual and see if that works for you. The stroke that suffers the most from sudden or jerky acceleration is the serve. So I'll try and demonstrate a couple of serves where I accelerate very suddenly. So something like that. So sudden acceleration means that as you're going through your trophy pose and you're about to drop the racket, you already suddenly accelerate. And of course you become tense. You don't really complete your drop. You will have a very shallow drop. And you might think that because you feel strong, you're going to hit a fast serve. But actually, a lot of contraction in your arm is actually slowing down your arm. So it's not really working the way you want. So it's very important that when you're serving, you're looking for very gradual acceleration, and that you actually feel that just before you hit the ball, you feel that maximum acceleration. So a serve should look more like this. Ha! So again, if I use my voice a little bit, the rhythm, the feel should be more like this. So as I'm doing my drop, I feel like instead of boom, right from here. So here's one more. Now, of course, you may be having a very jerky acceleration if your toss is too low. So many times I've been correcting that. If your toss is low, you have to hurry, and then that will cause all sorts of problems. So make sure you're tossing high enough that you can actually slow down a little bit here and then gradually accelerate and reach maximum speed just when you're about to hit the ball. Does gradual acceleration apply also to volleys? Yes, especially on the first volley. Now if you're very close to the net and your opponent hits a fast ball or you're playing doubles, then of course your reactions will have to be very quick and you're not really accelerating gradually, you're more very quick sudden accelerations. But when you're approaching the net, and especially maybe if you're receiving a lower ball that you have to slice a little bit, then you have to accelerate gradually to maintain that consistency and control of the ball. So let me first demonstrate what might happen or how the volley looks like if I accelerate suddenly and I'm around the service line. So I go, bam! I would go too much like this. One more. So that's very sudden acceleration. Now try and practice gradual acceleration. So as the ball is coming, I'm approaching the ball first. I already start my volley and I feel I'm going slow, and then I'm accelerating slightly just as the ball is coming towards my racket. So slow and go. Go. Okay, I'll try and show from different angle how this ball flies over the net. Just wanted to show you from this angle how volley with gradual acceleration from around the service line looks like, or how the ball flies, so that you see that you don't have to be very strong or that you have to accelerate suddenly. You just go very nice on the ball and then you pop it at the end and it will fly really nice. Here we go. So I'm going very nice at first, slowly I'm already going, and then I just do a little bit at the end and I hit a nice volley. So trust this process, work on it. Don't get tense immediately as the ball is coming towards you. Just try and feel very comfortable and feel that you're already moving the racket forward slowly. So, and then just at the end, as you're about to hit the ball, accelerate slightly and you will see you'll have very consistent volleys from the service line and from around the court. And this will eventually become, you know, a part of you unconsciously and will help you with all other types of volleys. What about overheads? Yes, same principle. I see so many missed overheads when players are accelerating way too suddenly, way too jerky. And for the same reasons that I mentioned before, they're missing a lot of shots. So they're contracting, they're mistime the ball and so on. So let me try and show one smash like that, where I try to accelerate very suddenly, and when I accelerate very suddenly, I'll be very tight. So now I will try to accelerate more gradually. So again, what helps me personally is this sound. So I'm thinking rather than right from here, boom. So very important to keep that in mind when you're working on your overheads, especially if you haven't warmed up your overhead much in the warm-up, and then you play a match and after 10 or 15 minutes you receive the first lob. Don't try to hit that smash very hard. Just try and find that rhythm, go nice at first, try and find the speed at the end, accelerate at the end, and feel that you're going gradually and then pop. So here's one more. Gradually and then. And you will see that even though it doesn't feel that you're hitting with a lot of power, it's a very fast ball. So try this idea of gradual acceleration. It's very important when you're increasing the speed of your strokes that the strokes do not become jerky. So you must still maintain gradual acceleration and reach maximum speed just when you're about to hit the ball. And you will see a big difference in how consistent your strokes are even when you're hitting with lots of power.